Yeah, I am. I'm
Jojo stays ready. And we're live. This is Ted Hicks, Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com or lnp.tv. Tony D, Mr. B are both here. Welcome, gentlemen. And I don't know if Brian TX is taking off for the week or not. However, we're here. Gentlemen, how you doing? How's your week? How's everything going?
Chilling, bro. What's going on? Jojo, how you living?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing? I'm just chilling, you know.
Doing well. Major League Baseball season kicked off today. It was a great day. Opening day is always special. So many different opening days I personally attended at Shea and Citi Field, and haven't been back there in a while. Hopefully we'll be back there this summer, but it's a different type of game with them with the pitch clock, with them looking at the demographics of I think the median age for Major League Baseball is tipping near 57 years old. What does that tell you? If the median age is 57 years old, then your sport is dying. So they're pushing to speed up the games, start the games a little bit earlier, in and out within 2.5 hours. The stuff that they're working on, removing the shift and everything else like that they have coming down the pike for this season and going forward. I think it's going to be pretty positive for them. I was watching a couple of games today. The speed that the game was moving, you kind of question what's going to happen with that. The analysts, the play-by-play person, because they won't be able to be long-winded, kind of like myself right now, where I'm just going off on this diatribe because they're waiting in between pitches. I like it. I like it a lot. I just want to throw it out to you guys. Have you seen any spring training, or did you see any opening day? And if you noticed the speed with the pitch clock and that the flow of the game has picked up greatly. Don't know if you noticed it or seen it, but if you want to provide any commentary on that.
Oh, your mic, Tony.
Your mic.
I was trying to share the page. My bad. I haven't watched the game. I didn't catch it. I did see the new. I think Verlander's on IL already for the Mets.
Verlander is on IL already, and nothing but Yankee fans were reaching out. And I'm sitting there saying, okay, we got a 40-year-old pitcher, co-ace. I think both of them are 40 and better, or 39 and 40. This stuff is going to happen. But I'm like, it happened already.
Right.
I don't know what to say to that, but that's another thing. So many people. So at my job, the TV's up. They have the baseball themes going. Everyone's walking around with the Yankee jersey. Aaron Judge hits a home run. Everyone's losing their minds. And they're like, he's going to hit 162 home runs this year. I'm like, please, stop.
Right. Stevie Wonder, what's going on? Sadie, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Hey.
Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing? So it's a new season. We're going to see a lot of people on IL. Why? Because, players aren't made the way they used to be made, and I don't know. You would think with sports medicine and everything else like that going on, they'd be a little bit more durable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take on MLB. We will, during the season, we'll have like Bucko Bruce and a few other people fly in to the show.
Bucko.
To spew their whatever, everyone's a homer. Want to get into, so tonight's title is called a huge historical first. That's all we're gonna say. Huge with a Y.
Yes.
So, Tony, you've been doing some random broadcasting.
Oh yeah,
There's always a new inspiration.
of course.
I love the last show that you put up within the last 24 to 36 hours.
Appreciate it.
With some of the stars that we've learned to love over the years.
Have fun.
What was your inspiration?
Yesterday, actually, Tuesday was one of my sister's birthdays, and I was trying to put something together just on my own. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I thought about it as far as hers and some of the jams we used to listen to when we was kids. So I ran that for about an hour. Ran some old school MC Light, Salt and Pepper, Queen Latifah, Roxanne Shante, a little bit of Sweet Tea, Lauryn Hill, The Conscious Daughters, and even Nonchalant for you old school hip hoppers for real. So that was fun. Check me out, the Random Multi-Broadcaster. You'll see it on the link tree. I'll get to that at the end of the show. And if you all have been here, you already know what the link tree is and everything that's under it. We'll do that later. You know what I'm saying. But I had fun with that. I also did one today. Just ran one for about 45 minutes. Wanted to bring a couple new jams in. The new Gorilla Lion Hyena video that I saw. I actually saw a video with Tupac and Big Daddy Kane did a song together I did not know about. That song's about 20-something years old. Ran that video. So I had fun with those. Other than that, just been keeping my eyes on the news, keeping my eyes on sports, going to work, taking it easy, man. That's been me.
Got it. So what do you have planned next on a future broadcast? Like what specific genre? And when I say genre, like, you know, hey, it can be hip hop or rap, but what type of that? Or if it's R&B, you know, if it's neo soul, or because, you know, we have to drill a little bit down. But what do you have on the horizon?
Yeah. On my link tree, my Miss Cloud, you'll see some of the ones that I've been doing since last November, I want to say. I have pretty much covered a lot of what I wanted to do. It actually hit me today, next month, to redo something and then continue on what I've done before. I'm going to redo a couple of marathons. I've actually had 4 marathons that I did do about 2 hours a piece. There's a few more that I've done that's been 3 hours a piece. I've also got others in my head, so I'm probably going to run some marathons of specific artists next month. So you all should get ready for that. I know the Bell Kings Fantasy Football League, some of the members want to get together, talk about the current events in football. I don't have a problem with that. Look forward to that on Sundays. I'll try to schedule it if we'll get enough of us together or if there's something big going on, which there are things happening. I just didn't want to do it on a daily the way everybody else was. I'm trying to be original and different with it. And some of the positive reviews that I've gotten, I've actually had 2 coworkers tell me they caught the episodes and thought we had something. So we get enough of us together on a Sunday. I said we can do it. We can run an easy hour. No problem. No problem at all. Ted's doing a whole lot in the background, JoJo.
Yeah. I was trying to share the stuff out on Facebook and everything else like that.
Yeah, I was sharing too.
Yeah, so the other piece about that is Bell Kings. I like Bell Kings. A lot of people might associate it with football. I still think you could make Bell Kings anything you want to make it. You can make it could be fantasy basketball. It could be like, for something like that, I just see it as it's so vast, and you could take it into any type of industry. I mean, we could be sitting here for Bell Kings talking NHL. We can get an NHL expert on Sunday and talk about it.
We could. I can do football conversations easy. I thought about including fantasy basketball in there because I do that too. But there's a bunch of players, and this season had a lot of injuries. It was driving people nuts. The 2 leagues that I did play this season, injuries was killing everybody's rosters. Imagine trading on the daily, and then you get an injury that same day. Then you don't know what you want to do. And then one of your prime players goes out, and then somebody picks him up, lets him sit on the bench, and when they're reactivated, you can't get him back. You can't even negotiate a decent trade. So what I've done was, by my draft, make sure it's going to try to last all season. I've actually been in there and made changes every day. It's redundant because sometimes some of the waivers don't come automatically, especially if somebody already has one before you. The waiver processing and then your waiver order, according to how you recruit players, throws the whole system off. I said, I'm going to just draft my position, just keep it. I'm going to keep it. They got to be out for the season for me to drop them. And then guess how they got me this season? They put John Morant suspended indefinitely. I dropped him in one league. He came back 2 weeks later, and I can't even get him back. And he was my number one pick in both leagues. One league, I couldn't get rid of him because when you make the first pick, that's the person you can't get rid of all season. So he had to sit down there for a couple of weeks, but he came back good, even though I still lost the league. It's a mess. It's fantasy basketball will be a lot, but football's a lot easier for me because they're weekly games. Fantasy basketball is daily for quite a few months.
It's daily.
Yeah, for quite a few months.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't do it because they say it's too much to keep up with. Not for me. I mean, if we watch,
what's even worse is fantasy baseball.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even do fantasy baseball. Let's look at what's going on right now. Verlander's out IL already. My man Diaz, the pitcher.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz.
Sure. Edwin Diaz. He was out before the season started. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
What they showed. Brian's in here.
Brian's here. Here we go.
Brian.
Here we go. I'm glad I took my nap.
So, I don't know, on Twitter today or Instagram today, Edwin Diaz was already on social media working out.
Oh, he coming.
And people were already starting he'll be back by September.
Absolutely.
He'll be back.
He's I think he enjoys the energy behind him, which he had plenty of last season. The Mets haven't had this much energy behind them in decades. We can all agree to that. So he's a big factor. He's a big face. And I'm like most of these players. You're paying me that type of money. If I can be healed, I can be rehabilitated in time to get back on the field, I'm going to do it. I respect that.
When the owner, a lot of people can say a lot of things about this owner. Steve Cohen. He turns around and says, I'm going to get him his own nutritionist, his own chef, this, that, boom, out my pocket to make sure that as soon as he's ready to come back, he's going to be good to go.
I want to keep it
immediately.
He said something last year. Actually, when he bought the team, I saw the changes he was making. He was furious with last season's results, and it was all over the news. He's pretty much going Steinbrenner on the Mets. Look at what he's doing. He's going very Steinbrenner. He's going to get everybody. He's going to take care of everybody. What Darryl Strawberry said about the Mets, I think, broke a lot of our hearts. And I think he wants to change the image. He wants to change that image, and I'm all about it. So big ups to him. He's bringing them in. There's a lot more energy in those games, and I think a lot of us who are baseball fans or even fans of the team, we see it.
Well, he's challenging the other owners.
Okay.
He's running laps around the other owners saying, hey, I'm a super fan. I love my team. I purchased my team, and now I'm going to invest in my team.
Exactly. And he's doing it. He's also pushing them. He was not happy with last year's record. He said he wants better, and he wants more.
Because they won 100 games last year.
They won 100 games.
And they won 100 games last year.
Yeah, which is huge. So that's the progression. Now you got to go for the playoffs.
Yeah.
You got to go for the playoffs. So I'm happy with him. I don't know what the players are feeling. I would love to hear from them on whether they feel comfortable with what's going on, if there's something underlying behind it. But as a fan, they made me want to fly up there for games.
All right.
Yeah.
And get a trumpet as a souvenir. And play it in the stands. I don't want to do it. So good job, Mr. Cohen. and let them boys play ball, please, sir. Just go and let them play. Just let
right now.
Let Coach Boone, Denzel Washington, remember the Titans. Let them play. Just let them play.
Oh my goodness, Brian, what's going on in your world?
Right.
Nothing much, man. Just working and just trying to just work and ignore the BS going on at work. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The management is just, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just.
It's tiring.
Too many Chiefs.
Not enough Indians.
Not enough Indians. And then on top of that.
Well, we can't say that. Scratch that. We can't say it like we can't talk like that no more.
Okay. Too many
people trying to be in charge. Not enough people want to work.
Correct. Well, no, not that they don't want to work. It's just the fact that you're trying to tell them how to do their job all over again.
Micromanaging.
Bingo.
There you go.
So it's kind of like there's a RJ45 jack, an Ethernet jack that you got to plug into either a modem or into a wall jack. But you have one of them, but you have like 6 or 8 managers standing around, and everyone's waiting to see who's going to be the person to go under the table to actually plug the cable in. Is it like that type of scenario?
In a sense, yeah. It's just we moved into a new warehouse, and it's just they're all like go productivity, get the stuff out to the customers. But it's like we had an incident today, a very dangerous incident today.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm wondering, like, everybody's dreading how tomorrow's going to go. I wasn't there. I was at our storage warehouse trying to get that ready to get moved out. But I got the text message like, oh, man. So basically, I don't know how, but anyway, someone had put some corrosive liquid at the very top rack, and one of the other guys caught it. He was like, how did that get up there? So he tried to get it down, and apparently it wasn't wrapped very well, and it spilled.
Why did you say that? I knew you were going to say that.
It spilled and landed on some bleach, and hazmat came out. And
oh no!
And we're only in day 4 of operations there.
Ooh.
I wouldn't put that on the internet though.
Jeez.
Is everybody okay? That's the first thing.
That's fine.
Good.
Okay.
But it's just like, golly, man.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Not good.
That's heavy.
Way heavy. So yeah, that was my entertaining, fun day today.
Okay. very solemn there.
Sorry to take the wind out of the sails.
Damn.
I was like, okay. As we transition to JoJo. Joe, big weekend this weekend.
Yes, indeed.
I don't even know where to get started with you. Did you hear the Nick Khan? Well, first of all, Nick Khan has been on every media outlet, within the last 48 to 72 hours. From CNBC to ESPN, you name it. From Fox to here to there, because he said they're kicking off their new media rights deals as of WrestleMania weekend.
Yep.
So something we said, I would say a year ago, when I used to watch you and TJ.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they are making so much money hand over fist, making like $650 to $700 million a year between NBCU and Fox, just in the US. Joe, from the way money is being printed nowadays, do you see the next deal being 1x, 2x, or 3x? I'm ready to go north of 2.
Yeah.
Because if they're doing like 700 million a year, I could see 1.4 billion, if not more.
Yeah. They've learned how to work. That's the thing. And even bigger than that is one of the biggest driving influences to this, as crazy as it sounds, Vince stepping back.
Yes.
Vince stepping back. You know,
yes.
Everybody now that you hear want to purchase WWE or wants to get involved in the business of WWE is now asking, yo, we're willing to do this as long as Vince is backed away. As Vince's influence is not as much as it used to be, or barely non-existent, you know, we're good. And that's what's happened. A lot of stuff is flown. And, you know, while everybody was clamoring about, oh, you know, we got to do, you know, business cuts and this and that and trying to get that money, those dudes saved a lot of money during 2020. A lot of money during 2021. And from 2022 to now, they have made a lot of revenue. A lot of revenue.
Yeah, a big part of that too, Triple H, is he pretty much fought to where he has creative control.
That's what it is. A lot of people garnered a lot more interest. They want to see what Triple H is capable of doing.
Yeah.
So you got a lot more of those fans, and he's managed to make these events, making the move to now getting more of the outside the U.S. shows. Like, did they Clash at the Castle?
Well.
They mixed up. Hey, what's happening, Carmen?
Hey there, Carm. How you doing?
The woman that does not want to answer her phone.
She's all about the joy.
Oh, damn,
she's a busy woman, Brian. Stop pushing the envelope.
Yes, indeed.
We just watched the show, Carmen. You're always doing a good show, honestly.
As always.
Yes, I always enjoy it.
Carmen, great show.
You always have a decent round table, so for real.
Love it, love it, love it.
For real.
So we'll hit you on a text, maybe even tomorrow, and just find out what's going on with your world.
All right. Right, indeed.
But but like a lot of the people are behind Triple H, and because since he's taken over, ratings has gone up, merch has went up, storylines, like people are enjoying the storylines.
Yeah,
I think he caters to the youth. That's what needed to be done. We got to be honest that a lot of things that we were seeing that was getting redundant.
Well,
for the
that too, yeah.
That was real. We talked about that a few times a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like let the talent.
I'll go ahead and say it. You tell old knucklehead I ain't forgetting none of them conversations we had because we covered it very well back in the day.
Yeah.
We covered it very well. So we talked about that. He would always bring up they need to do something new to make it work. Triple H has been doing.
Yeah, and then also too, JoJo could validate this. Like I've said it many times. Let the talent be the talent. Don't give them no stupid gimmicks. No give them no stupid storylines.
Yeah. No. Go ahead, Brian. Say what you
now that Roman Reigns is into his own, talking for himself, and he's killing it now, versus back then they're like,
yes.
How can a badass dude like Roman Reigns be all like, man, I don't know, suffering succotash? Like, what badass dude says suffering succotash?
Don't bring that. That was a low point.
Yeah, that was a definitely low point. And then just trying to like Vince was all trying to keep it, ramming down our throats like he's our guy, and everybody's like, no. But then when he took a whole year off, and then when he came back as a heel, people loved it. They're like, finally. I mean, that whole bloodline storyline has been the best by far in years. I mean, it made me start watching again because, to be quite honest, I haven't watched it in a long time. I only catch highlights.
Right.
Right.
The line needed to be done. They needed something new and something different. And
Yeah.
they especially give us some respect and acknowledgement to the Samoans, people born in the Pacific,
Yes.
never got their
Yes.
respect over the decades. I have no problem with that, and I will say that as a fan. They never got enough respect over the decades. Do you realize how many of those family members have been wrestling in WWE?
Yeah.
I mean, the only
And that's being real.
Other than Rikishi, they got the popularity, like The Rock.
Yeah.
You had The Rock, you had Rikishi, you had Yokozuna.
The
all
Wild
of them.
Samoans,
Yeah, all of them. It was unrelated. So
Wild Samoans, the Head Shrinkers, yeah, you got a lot of those teams, man.
They all doing it. So big ups to them for that. Drew McIntyre done his time as a solo champion, but he could still do it. Roman Reigns did his time as a solo champion and with the Shield, but he's still doing it. John Cena's done his time. He's still doing it. Braun Strowman has done his time, even lost weight. Now he's more compatible. They're bringing back some of the old guys. Even they're admitting it's too old and it's too much time to recover. Goldberg said it. He has no problem fighting, but it's taking him longer to recover after matches.
Yeah, because the guys are younger, stronger, more physical.
Undertaker's showing it, so they got to do something for the youth. A lot of us, we're old heads now. We are old heads of wrestling.
Yeah.
We got to let the youngsters have it.
Yeah. But I mean, but I've always said it numerous of times. It's like, you know, you let the talent be the talent, but then also too let the talent evolve within themselves. Like collaborate with them versus just telling them this is the script, live it, love it, follow it. And then Vince,
true.
And then on the rumor mill too, like Vince would be, because like a lot of the story writers would be like, they'll hand him the script, and Vince would be like, last second, it could be 5 minutes before the show, before Raw starts. He'd be like, nah, we're gonna scrap it. We're gonna scrap it. I'm gonna change it.
I've heard he's done that. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's bad business.
Yeah.
Joe, I have a question for you.
Sure.
How important is the library in the new media rights deal?
That's a
how
big
important.
Getting the media rights. You got to understand how long the WWE, WWF has existed. This is one thing you got to understand. And they're not just collective of themselves. They're collective of everyone else that they've owned throughout the history of pro wrestling.
Literally owned.
Yes. Every organization, every territory, all that stuff. So we're talking about years, decades upon decades of wrestling.
Close to a century.
We're talking about, yes, a lot of wrestling. You know how hard it is to cram a lot of wrestling to watch? That's what you gotta do if you get all of that. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
that is crazy. That is billions of dollars in wrestling right there.
I mean, just like the whole week. I mean, you look at the schedule, like Monday night, you got Monday Night Raw, and then you got AEW Dark. Then on Tuesday, you have NXT 2.0. Then you got another, what is it, AEW Evolve or something like that. And then Wednesday night, you got AEW Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night, I don't remember what that was.
Oh, now you have Impact and now ROH.
Impact and ROH.
If you own
on Thursday night. Yeah. Then Friday night, you got SmackDown, and then you got Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday night is just like pay-per-views.
Yeah, and in between there, you got MLW. You got MLW too.
Yes.
And the thing about it was like what really caused WWE to do their pay-per-views on Saturday versus like their Sundays like they normally do?
Because people had to get up to go to work on Sunday and the show would run over.
Oh, yeah.
If you think about it like that, Saturday night, most cats are up watching something and nothing on TV during the illness rating of the world. Everybody pretty much saw every movie they ever wanted to see. So when nothing was out, pay-per-views are prime. And then they made the last 2 nights, which used to trip me out. That's a lot. If you're making the last 2 nights, the credit I'll give them is you're making sure everybody gets their shine during the main events.
Yeah.
How creative is it for WWE to go from pay-per-views to premium live events and hand it all over to Peacock for an annual sum? Because you don't have to, you're not worried about the headache anymore. You're just worried about the gate.
You don't worry about
You're
the
not,
headache.
you're not worried about buys or subscriptions and all of that stuff. You get out of that game.
That's exactly what they did. They got rid of their network, sent it to Peacock. Peacock is a free channel you can pick up. Everybody can watch everything. You got a channel that doesn't cost anything. So what you have also can gain value instead of losing value like it was doing.
Yeah.
And it's a streaming platform. Everything is streaming right now. Nobody's paying and subscribing. Everybody is streaming for free. If you got to pay for it, they will leave.
Yeah. So you pay for you pay for that subscription.
Mm-hmm.
You go and you're gonna get the subscription. You got to pay the extra for the pay-per-views or whatever. But you're gonna have a lot of people go over there because it's not just that content. There's a whole bunch of other content there as well.
Right.
And the Peacock deal ended up doing a lot better than the WWE network,
Yes.
which is
Peacock is rocking it. Peacock is rocking it.
The whole thing. That's the craziest part. They took all that time to do the WWE network just for the WWE network to be crappy streaming wise because things were cut off and all that.
Oh, the end of the year.
The access to it was horrible. I can tell you for a fact. And then magically they did fix it, but then it still had issues and not quite all the content was quite there.
It was glitchy.
It was failing in streaming numbers, in numbers.
Was good.
So then that's what happened. It switched over.
Smoke was going on.
And that was happening around the end of the network from what I saw.
Yeah.
And it tripped me out because I got it when it first came out. It was fine. I just wasn't watching all those shows. I only got it for the pay-per-views. My problem with that network was you couldn't watch Raw, SmackDown on there.
Yeah,
all you got was for the interviews and everything offline. So now you got everything set up somewhere. Like for me, it's included in my cable.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily have to pay for Peacock. I could watch them.
Yeah.
Amazon, I think, was going to get a deal with it or something like that.
Where they that would have been awesome.
That would have been bananas.
So this weekend for WrestleMania,
I see you.
They're going to have all the partners at WrestleMania. So Fox is going to be there, NBC is going to be there, Amazon, Apple.
It's big deal.
It's going to be a very huge night, Ted.
It's big.
Yes. And everyone wants a piece.
Bigger and better and more marketable. This is going to be a marketing
That's why we are Hollywood, gentlemen.
Yes.
That's why we're Hollywood.
Everyone wants a piece of that business.
Yep.
So we were talking in pre-pro. How bummed are you or not that the Usos against Sami Zayn,
Kevin Owens?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of I'm kind of stuck.
No, I like it because it branches off because now the story breaks because now you got Roman and Cody like doing their little saga, and then you got to have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens who's been dealing a lot with the Usos. So now it's kind of like, where does this story end? Yeah. I really do like it. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. I am upset though because of the placement it is on at the card though. The placement is in the middle of the card.
It's in the middle?
Yeah, it's in the
middle. Okay. I would rather take the mid card versus the kickoff show.
Let's run the card, shall we?
No. If they're on the mid card, that's perfect because at least that gives them time to shine versus being on the kickoff show or the first match.
So this is how it goes for night one. Ready?
Yes.
So we got Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. What? That is the WrestleMania showcase match, tag team showcase match. Then you got Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio, which has been the storyline of the dad and the son. The son betrayed the dad, joined the evil team. Now Rey, after being nonchalant about trying to fight his son, finally said, forget it, I'm going to whoop you. That's what's going down. So then we got
Tony, that's Ghost against Tariq.
Huh?
I said, Tony, that's Ghost against Tariq.
Better be Kane and the dad too.
But that's a first though. We've always seen brother versus brother, brother-in-law versus brother-in-law. We never seen a father versus son.
Not really. No. That's cool.
Do we really want to see this?
No.
Yes.
Is it a big of a deal? Well, for the Mysterio name, it is, because Ray's getting his Hall of Fame. We know soon he's gonna retire. Dominic, you know what I mean? That's his son. He's kind of been a little rusty, but he's kind of been okay. It's early in the WrestleMania card. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with that.
Has Ric Flair? Did Ric Flair ever fight his kids? I think he fought.
Oh yeah, he did. He did.
He fought one time, didn't he?
He fought his son, yeah, in WCW. David Flair, yeah, but
David Flair.
I got you, Squad. That's exactly what I'm thinking about that.
And then we saw Vince.
But on WrestleMania, on a big level.
Oh wait, I did take that back. I do take that back.
But I don't really.
We're seeing Vince versus Shane.
Vince did go against Shane, I think. Yeah, he did. He went against Shane one time, didn't he?
Yeah, and then we saw Vince against Stephanie. So yeah. Okay, I take that back.
Yeah, but it's like the if this magnitude somewhat, because he's gonna retire. It's Ray. Ray's the dude.
It's time for Ray to sit down. They threw him off. What else they gonna do with this?
You know what's crazy though? Ray's like 40-something years old, and that motherfucker's still flying better than most of these wrestlers out here. That's the craziest part about it.
Yeah.
But we got Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control.
That's gonna be a good match.
That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. I think
one.
that's gonna be okay.
I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be okay. A little messy in between, but it'll pick up. It's on Damage Control's end though, because it's on Damage Control's end because you got two of the biggest veterans in
wrestling. Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like their like dream come true. Like I get to wrestle my idol.
Yeah, so you gotta have so EO, Dakota, and Bailey, y'all gotta pick it up. You know what I mean? So then we have Usos. Yeah, Usos, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. The long time bloodline storyline is gonna come to an end here. We'll see what happens. Usos, Sami, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, 3 years in the making.
That's gonna be good.
Since they robbed, they had to fight the match in COVID during COVID pandemic, and
that
Charlotte
should be the main
Rhea,
event,
which sucked horribly.
That should be night one.
That should be a main event. I agree. That should be a monster.
Yeah. And it didn't have to. It didn't have to happen, but it did happen. That was horrible. But then you have John Cena and Austin Theory. John Cena coming back. John Cena. The folks love John Cena. Regardless of how you feel about John Cena's managed to carry the WWE on his back and take it to next level type stardom, bro. We always said when The Rock left, they probably want to be another guy like The Rock. Boy, were we wrong. John Cena showed up, man.
John Cena is not The Rock, but this is what John Cena does.
For wrestling.
Let me give you another level. John Cena is promotion for WWE because he's making movies and still doing matches.
That's what I'm talking about.
A duration that I don't think any other wrestler has done. That is true.
Yeah, and that's why I say it, because the fact The Rock went to movies and then The Rock picked and chose when he was going to come back to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, Cena said, I'm going to do these movies and I'm going to keep doing this because the fans like this. I'm doing this for the fans. And that's what was the difference. That's why I was giving him his props.
Yeah, you got to.
I disappeared.
I don't know what happened.
He disappeared.
That shit keeps happening. I don't understand.
You went kayfabe.
Well, it's okay. I got my MMA picture there, so it's all good.
It's a dial up.
So Joe, while you work through the camera, what are your thoughts about Austin Theory dropping a belt to John Cena on Saturday, and then Cena dropping the belt on Monday Night Raw?
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. And I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't have a problem with that, but it's happening too often in wrestling now.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening too often in wrestling where people win a title and within a 1 week period they lose it. I don't understand that.
They could be beat.
Dude. All right,
because they weren't scheduled to win.
It's dumb though. It's incredibly stupid.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
really sorry.
it is stupid. Like for instance, when Zack Ryder won that Money in the Bank or the Intercontinental Championship from a ladder match on
Yeah,
WrestleMania,
yeah,
and then he lost it the next night.
yeah.
So apparently, when things go like that, it's like the wrong guy won by accident.
Nah, that don't make no sense because he
I
won
know.
I
and
know what
everybody
you're
went
saying, but
crazy, and
yeah,
they killed the guy's buzz that way.
yeah.
Like for
Yeah,
example,
got
Damage
buried.
Control had the tag titles. They lost it on an episode of Raw to Alexa Bliss and Asuka. During that week, we had Crown Jewel, and on Crown Jewel, which I think was the Friday or the Saturday, they lost the titles back to the Damage Control all over again. So Damage Control, that were the tag team champions on that Monday, ended up being tag team champions again on that Saturday. That makes no sense.
Yeah, and then remember when Kane won the title for 24 hours
Yeah, makes
and
no
and
sense.
and they never gave him another title run after that?
Exactly. It's stupid. You know what I mean? It's stupid. It's totally stupid. Darby Allin beat Samoa Joe for the TNT title because it was at his hometown.
You know,
And
damn
then
well Darby Allin ain't beating no Samoa Joe. Go
and
ahead.
then days later, he loses the title to Samoa Joe. Shut up. I don't want to hear that. So that's what happens.
What are we doing here?
Exactly. So it's kind of stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's stupid when you see it. It's like, yay, we did it. But then he wins it again, and then people look and they're like, why the hell did that happen?
That
Even
makes no
people start
sense.
catching on to it because this day and age, the wrestling fans, these wrestling fans pay attention to it and they go, yo, that's dumb. If that
Yes,
was
Smoke, I
the
agree.
whole case, then yeah.
Smoke says it's right. You got to transition belts from heels to faces and vice versa. That's what they've been doing. I agree.
Yeah, you got to do that. You got to do that, but you got to do it a lot better because then you have you have smart fans now. That's the whole thing because you have social media. You got smart fans now.
You're right.
Before we could have just seen it and been like, "Yo, that's cool," and been pleased. But now you got social media fans that look and they question it, and you see the boards and you see why that happened, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And then that's what happens. That's the problem.
And that's real talk.
Yeah. So, but
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. So that's what happened.
So, Joe,
Yeah.
are you basically saying how Dan Levitard said Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless destroyed sports media, kind of like the way Sean Ross Sapp has just destroyed wrestling?
Y'all are rough, boy. Y'all are rough.
Oh my god.
Yo, so what's going on with night 2?
So night 2, man. They got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalia and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green in a
Stop.
WrestleMania showcase match for the women.
Stop
Two
it.
necessary tag matches. Now let's talk about it.
Stop it. That's
This
gonna
was
be
supposed to be
bananas.
Chelsea
Yes.
Green and Carmella. But for some reason, Carmella is not in this match, and they replaced her with Sonya Deville.
Okay.
I don't understand
Yeah.
it, but okay.
She's not injured, is she?
Jeeves was good.
I don't know what's been going on with her.
Jeeves.
Yo, Jeeves.
What's going on, Jeeves?
They've been fluctuating. Carmella's been fluctuating on and off TV. They haven't even given a reason as to why that's happened. Like she just chose to. But it is what it is. Then we have Brock Lesnar versus Almost. Now,
I gotta see
Brock
that.
Lesnar versus Almost. They're making it entertaining. Almost is a giant. Almost is about 7'3".
7'5", 7'7", something like that.
He's tall as hell.
Yeah.
Then you got Brock Lesnar, who's a monster. You know what I mean?
He's an old monster.
Yeah, he's an old monster. But you seen him moving on Monday? They did this little segment, and that man was hitting a 4-0. You know what I mean? He on the dash, man. Like, yo, this dude was hitting some speeds, boy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to how that's gonna turn out. If Brock could get that man over for some German suplexes, that's gonna be bonkers. But I'm looking forward to that big man match. You know, Vince got some influence in that match, some influence because he
Yeah,
likes his monster people fighting.
he made that suggestion of Lesnar versus Omos.
Yeah. So we got Edge versus Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell match. That's been a
Yeah.
long storyline, Judgment Day and Edge, because Edge created the group. The group betrayed him. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship triple threat match. That whole storyline is kind of crazy. Gunther's really showed up to be a real
big
beast
time.
of a dude. I've loved this dude throughout the Indies, and I said if he ever made it to the WWE, God bless, and God bless indeed, because he's done a terrific job. He's out of Austria. He's wrestled in Germany and throughout the world. A young guy too. I'm 36. He's about 34, 35, give or take. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean, he's done pretty well for himself. Sheamus, I think this is Sheamus's final run in the company. He might retire after the end of this year or next year. But yeah, man, good match to go on. Then we have Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair knocked it out the park with 2 WrestleMania main events, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then off on nights, 2-night, 2-night, 1 main event.
First female to do that?
And yeah, I think she is.
Because I think Stone Cold might have done that.
Yeah, but female-wise, I think she is.
I think she's the first female to do that.
I think she might be the first female other than since these night 1, night 2 stuff, yeah. She's been the first, yeah. So no. She opened the night. She closed night 1 with Sasha Banks. I remember. She opened this night. She opened last year against Becky Lynch. There you go. That's what it was. Okay. I think that's what it was. So yeah. So Asuka had the titles. It's been a long time, and a lot of people want to see her win the title, man.
Again,
because Asuka's been one of the workhorses for that division, for real. So that's gonna be a good match. And then we got Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Y'all know the deal. Roman Reigns head of the table. Cody Rhodes was in AEW.
Legacy match.
Do things. They didn't want him to do it the way he wanted to do it. Legacy. They didn't want to. Everybody wanted him to turn heel, but he wanted to be face. There's a lot of other weird stuff going on in AEW. He decided, he did his thing and he left. People were trying to clown him. Now he's the most over thing in the WWE besides Zayn and Owens. Yo, come on.
Smartest move he could have ever made.
Exactly. And now he's going up against the monster heel that is Roman Reigns, reigning 3 years strong in the WWE as a heel. So, yo, that's the card, man. What else we could ask for?
Yeah, I mean, the promos between Reigns and Cody has been stellar.
But I'm telling you, man, that joint's gonna be crazy. But that night 1, that's Seth Rollins and Logan Paul, yo. That's gonna be, yo. That's your sleeper of the night,
That's the showstopper right there.
That's gonna be your sleeper of the night, man. YouTube personality, Logan Paul, prime owner, 1/2. This dude is really about this wrestling life.
He is.
Regardless of how crazy he's doing things outside of it, the crypto scams and the NFT scams and all that other crazy stuff. When it comes to him putting on his wrestling shows,
when it comes to him performing, he will perform. He will perform and he will market. I got that.
Yeah.
I want a guy like Seth
Rollins. Wow.
Yeah.
I want to segue to his brother. But what the Pauls do is something really remarkable. Before we go to Jake Paul and how it kind of dovetails with PFL, this is where if you have a tour, you have a wrestling tour, you have an independent tour or organization out there, everything, worlds are going to collide.
Yeah.
In Hollywood this weekend, starting tonight.
Yeah,
there's gonna be card tomorrow night and then Saturday and everything else like that. Saturday during the day. because nothing else is going can compete against WrestleMania. Joe, your thoughts and the deal with Jake Paul partnering up with PFL. How much of that deal is, I mean, we can talk about the whole impact of it, but how much of that is Jake's 70 million social media followers? How much of it is marketing versus how much of it is his athleticism and getting out there and, competing in the PFL?
A lot of it's going to be held on marketing. If we got to really put it to 100% standpoint, it will be 65 to 70% of marketing and 30% of whatever he's going to do.
Got it.
I'm going to tell you that right now, based on what we can see right now, because we've seen him box, and he boxed these guys, and he shows some boxing skill. But the criticism is these guys were out of their prime.
Yeah.
As, you know what I mean? For the most part. To me, other than the Anderson Silva fight, most of these guys out their prime. Anderson Silva beat up, what's his name?
Quite a few people.
Chavez Jr.
Mm-hmm.
If he beat up Chavez Jr., I'm not going to say Silva was out of his prime. Come on now. But, a lot of that, he fought some guys that are out of their prime, and he fought Tommy Fury. But is if he's going to be able to put the skills of actual MMA fight to the test, he got to train, and then we'll see from there. But a lot of just that marketability. He's been able to go out there and do all the boxing, so people watch the boxing. How many people watch the boxing? A substantial amount of people watch the boxing. No crazy numbers, really. I still didn't even get a checkup on that Tommy Fury, the card that they fought at, how much that did buys-wise. I never looked that up. I heard what the numbers they said, but I'm not quite sure if that's true or not. But when he goes into there, I think they're gonna bring in some numbers. The numbers will raise up a little bit when he goes to fight. I believe so, but to me it's a 65-70% marketability, 30 to 35% actual skill. There you go.
Because isn't the PFL going to be looking for Jake Paul to be not just promoting his fights, but other fighters during the season?
I think so. I think so. A little bit here and there. The thing is that with him coming in here now to market fighters, is like that's cool and all, but a lot of the fighters have been pretty much marketing themselves. If anything that he's gonna try to help push will probably be whoever he faces in these super fights that he's supposed to be doing here, because that's why they brought him in for the super fight portion of these events that are gonna take place.
Right.
Which I don't know if you guys know, he's getting a substantial amount of money for every time these super fights take place. Which is kind of fucking crazy. And he's also going to be eating because they split in the fights between the Zone and ESPN. So that's something else as well. But I think it's going to be more so about him promoting his opponents and the events that he's on, more so than the rest of the fighters. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the format? The format, how the format is different with PFL and UFC.
I love the format.
Like how Dana controls. He's the oxygen in the room versus you have an actual season.
I like the format a lot better. I like the tournament format. Not to say that the UFC does their thing pretty good, but because of certain circumstances, you might not see a fighter fight for like a whole year or 2 years. They're sitting back because they don't get enough fights throughout the year. Whereas you have the PFL, you could get a select number of folks, you bring them in, you have them compete in the tournament. You have 16 fighters. Yeah, 16 fighters. Is it 16 fighters? Yeah, 16 to 8 to 16 fighters in within a space, right? You match them up, you have them fight, and the guys, who make the points progress. People who lose, you know what I mean? You lose, but you have 2 fights, and in the preliminaries, you have 2 fights. You score enough points, you get to the, the semis. After that, you get from the semis to the finals. The quarterfinals, and the same. Yeah, you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
But you have the point score, and you have that. But in that format, you go out there, they get paid. They get paid really well for the tournament format.
Yes.
Then you progress and you go through. But not only that, unlike the UFC, you're getting your sponsorships. All your sponsorships are there. So you could be riding with anywhere between your 1 or 2 to like 5 or more, and you're good money. You know what I mean? So you get your sponsorship paychecks, which is always cool. And you could rack up anywhere between $50,000 on your sponsorships, depending on how good they pay, even more than that. And kind of like how when people get jobs and you work, but then certain jobs you get tips, and some people can live off their tips. That's how the it was with MMA, and same thing with boxing when you get your sponsorships. So a lot of people get paid off the sponsorship money more than the paycheck. So they pay substantially well, and then you have your sponsors. And if you make it to the final, you get $1 million and win the championship. You know what I mean? So that $1 million is real, people.
Facts.
When they take taxes out, if you're living in in Florida and stuff like that, where they're lenient on taxes, boy, you're feeling happy about yourself.
So when taxes come out.
What does it say that Francis Ngannou is signing a deal or has signed a deal with the PFL?
Frightening. It's frightening. Straight up frightening. You talk about a 200+ pound man, maybe 300 pounds, who could put people in the other realm. You know what I mean? Knock people into the shadow realm. But 36, knees a little iffy, but if he's gonna go fight, he's chasing the $1 million. That's straight up.
Right.
He's chasing the $1 million.
Who I need to fight for $1 million? Who I need to fight?
Don't fight him. Don't fight him, because even if he taps you, we're not gonna see you wake up till like 2 months, Tony. So you gotta chill.
I feel you. It was $1 million, man. I got strong. My bad. Go ahead.
But yeah, man. I'm happy to see that he getting an offer. They offered him something big. Then, if he's willing to sign, they offered him something big. They gave him a really good pay, and that means not only that, they're giving him options to do something else.
Right.
That's what it is as well. So he's probably getting some options to box or do something else on the sideline when the season's over. And he could chase that $1 million. I ain't mad at it.
Facts.
I ain't mad at it at all.
We lost. Brian had to dip out. So Brian, big ups. Get you some rest. Knew you had a long day, dog.
Word.
Yes, sir. Before we get on out of here, we got to talk Anthony Joshua. I really don't want to talk him because I think he's a waste. But he said, I think he said he's going to retire if he doesn't win this weekend. Joe, your thoughts?
Oh, God. Yo, let me tell you something. Anthony Joshua's fighting this guy, Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin is 21-1, people. If you don't know, they're fighting this Saturday. We have to touch on it just a little bit. His last fight, he lost to Dillian White. Now, Dillian White got smoked a couple years ago by Anthony Joshua. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, this guy is okay. He has pretty decent cardio. He kind of moves all right. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. He's okay. Anthony Joshua should be able, with his skills and ability, to beat this guy, cruise to a decision. Get a knockout somewhere within 10 rounds. I'll say that. It's a 12-round fight. Should be able to finish this within 10 rounds. That's just honestly speaking. This is just a fight to reboost the confidence within Anthony Joshua, get the fans back on his side. You know what I mean? I think they're more so on his side because contract negotiations between Usyk and Fury, while Joshua was able to do those, Fury wasn't. So I think a lot of more people are going to be cheering for Anthony Joshua here. But Joshua should be able to finish that. The card itself is okay. If there's a fight you should look out for, people, Galal Yafai out of England will be making his debut. That man's a gold medalist boxer. He'll be fighting a guy by the name of Moises Caleros, who's 34-10. Look out for that. That's gonna be a damn good fight, a good showcase for the boy Galal. That's at the 112 division. There's a couple other good fights on this card as well, but for me, that's the one thing you pick out from. I want y'all to see that. That's on the main card, so check that out. Yep. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that and what's that? Ramirez and Dogbo. That's a fight going on too on ESPN Plus. So check that out too, man.
In a couple of weeks, we're gonna double back with you to discuss Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. Question for Tony D, because I know he likes to get out there and go to the movie theater.
Word.
Did you see John Wick 4 yet?
I have not. I've only heard one bad review. I've only heard one bad review. Other than that, everybody has said it's been outstanding. Apparently, there's going to be spin-offs.
Oh, man.
I have nothing on it yet, but I've heard excellent reviews.
Yeah.
I've heard it was an improvement upon the previous one, and it's an improvement on the whole series in its entirety.
John Wick 4 is something else, man.
They said it was for real.
John Wick 4 is something else.
I don't have any complaints about that franchise at all. I just don't know how many more people he's going to beat up and how many different ways he's going to beat people up. But apparently there were new ways in that movie.
All I can tell you is that even though that joint is action-packed, it's going to hit you in the feels, bro. It's going to hit you in the feels. For real. It's going to hit you in the feels. I didn't expect it to, but it's going to hit you in the feels. I didn't expect it to. Yeah.
We don't want to give any spoilers for the ending, but for them to do a John Wick 5, would it have to be a prequel? How would you do it?
Last year, Keanu Reeves, I think it was out last year, the year before, he said he would do as many movies as the fans want to see. I don't know what else they're going to do. I mean, Keanu Reeves has been fighting people since The Matrix.
Yes.
Yep.
And big ups to him for being as universal and being as loyal to what the fans want to see. I got to give him his credit. I don't know what else he's going to do, and I got to see this one because John Wick 3, when him and Halle Berry was fighting and the dogs was jumping in on the fight, I'm like, okay, what else are we going to do?
That shit was fire.
That dog.
Was fire.
Dog.
She sent the dogs out.
And what she did with that water bottle, I can't forgive her for. I just won't. While he was in the desert, that was just, ugh.
That was grimy. Yeah.
They're going to have to put him in the Marvel Universe or DC or something next.
Oh, my God.
I want to give a quick update. I think we were in the green room, but I remember telling a story about a pothole being in front of my house and me calling, yada, 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 all this other stuff, acting a fool. And they came yesterday and fixed it.
Wow.
You ought to be ashamed.
Fixed it.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself for not having patience, Ted.
You probably watched the broadcast. That's what it was.
That's what it was. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
They showed up, plugged it, rang the doorbell, and I'm like, what?
They had to get around to you, I told you.
Gotta have a little bit of faith. Tone, have you been hearing anything about retailers pulling back on free shipping, 2-day shipping, overnight shipping?
No, but I did feel that last October, November with Amazon and Amazon Prime with a couple of packages that either did not come at all or did not come within a reasonable time due to shipping issues. So something new has come down. I have not seen that, no.
Okay. Last story is your take on Amazon the NFL trying to appease Amazon with, they were trying to throw out their flexing Thursday night games. Do they not
I saw that story.
care about the health of the players?
Mhm.
I mean, we know they don't, but
The players don't want it, from what I've seen.
the players don't want it.
They don't want it. I would suggest, I'll throw this out there. The players don't want Thursday night football. We want to see as many games as possible as fans. Amazon should get some games Saturday. The whole weekend to be full of football. You got Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
But Friday is high school. Saturday is college. Sunday
yeah.
is the pros.
Yeah. Okay. So we got to look at Sunday, Monday. It's going to have to be everybody on Sunday. Now, you got people that watch Red Zone. You got people that want to see the highlights. You also got people like us who have more than one device to watch everything. For me, it will help to watch my team. I'm in the area outside of where my home team is. Say my local team came on whatever network. Now, Amazon has shown games. Yahoo has shown games.
Yep.
I think even Twitter had done it at one time. NFL.com has done it. They got apps over there, free and paid for. We need as many avenues to see not only the local and regional games, but also teams that we want to watch, especially those of us who are into not necessarily the gambling, but the fantasy sports.
Yeah.
And as of right now, since gambling is becoming so prevalent, even with wrestling, which people think is mind-blowing, but damn it, they're making it money. All I'm saying is I would like to see Amazon get some of them games. I would like to see Yahoo Sports get some of their games back. Yahoo Sports will do the regional games. What about people picking up their favorite teams? But then that's going to start a monopoly with people who got all these teams all over the place, i.e. the Steelers, 49ers, and Cowboys. Right. Huge fan base, loyal fan bases everywhere. The other teams may not feel the revenue. Got it. I don't know what to say. And I'm just throwing those scenarios out there as far as something that can be looked into.
All right.
If it hasn't been talked about.
I'm glad they held or froze the idea of flexing Thursday night games, because I'm just like, you're asking for. I just go back to Tua when he caught the concussion that Sunday.
Yeah.
And then he caught the second concussion that Thursday night.
Yeah.
When everyone knew he shouldn't have been out there
in the first place. I was a big proponent against him playing, but he had a successful season afterwards. Big ups to Tua.
Yeah, but that was still dangerous.
I agree.
You know, he's sitting there and his fingers are like,
stroked. Look like a cartoon character. Look, some of Tom and Jerry, Woody Woodpecker, Bugs Bunny, Heckle and Jekyll. But then you want to get back on the field. A few $1 million will make you do that.
Tone, tell us about the genesis of the jersey that you're wearing.
Oh, where do I begin? And I had to think back. I remember a picture I took in this jersey. It was 0405. I bought this jersey a long time ago. I know a bunch of y'all be like, that's kind of fly. Where'd you get it? This thing's over 20 years old, y'all. This is an old FUBU jersey. I'm very picky on my clothes. A lot of times if I buy something, I don't plan on getting rid of it no time soon. I didn't think it was going to last this long. These are some of my favorite colors. It's a football jersey, one of my favorite sports. It's kind of going to go with me. So all of you out there who think this is too old, do me a favor, check your jersey that's 20 years old. Tell me how they look compared to this. You know what I'm saying? Many a washer, a dryer, and a state has seen this jersey.
Oh, my goodness.
Nice.
Joe, what are we streaming this weekend?
So, what are we doing this weekend? We're going to be streaming. I will be on tomorrow, I gotta do the show with Mike. Because
Yes.
last week
Coach
we
Corner.
were supposed to do the show, but technical difficulties happened. He had to do dad duties, so it is what it is,
Respect to the dad duties.
for sure.
Shout out to
So-
the real dads out there.
Word.
Yes, indeed. So I'll be on. We'll be streaming Bellator 293. That's gonna take place on Friday. Headlined by a fight between Marcelo Golm, 10-3 Marcelo Golm out of Brazil against 14-6-1 Daniel James. The co-main event is an interesting one where they're one of their top stars, prospects, you can say, prospect stars out of England, Leah McCourt from SBG, trains at the same gym Conor trains, against former UFC bantamweight title challenger Kat Ngannou, who's 13-4. Whoever wins here is most likely next in line for the featherweight title, which is held by one Chris Cyborg. There's a couple other good fights on this card as well. Salter versus Aaron Jeffrey, probably for the next in line for the middleweight title. My young prospect boy Archie Colgan is fighting Justin Maltavo, Sullivan Cauley, Luke Trainer. And there's a lot of good fights on the prelims as well. My homegirl Pam Sorensen, love that girl a lot. My dude Lucas Brennan, whose dad used to fight in the UFC years ago. So he's undefeated 7-0. And Lance Gibson Jr., whose dad is Lance Gibson. Both of those dudes are undefeated. Do watch their fights. Their fights will be on the YouTube. Will air on the YouTube on the prelims.
Mm-hmm.
As well as the just retired Benson Henderson's wife, Maria Henderson, will be on the card as well on the prelims. So check those out. So I'll be on for that. There's no UFC this weekend, so I get to pay attention to the other stuff that's going on fully. It gives me more time for the following week's card, UFC 287. So is that joint Bellator? I'll be doing Bellator Friday, the Joshua Franklin fight on Saturday, as well as PFL 1. They kick off their tournament within the featherweights and featherweights, and I think it's light heavies.
Okay.
Yeah, featherweights and light heavyweights. When they do the tournament format, they put two weight classes on the card. So this one will be featherweights and light heavyweights. Then they'll probably have the heavyweights and the women featherweights. There's no lightweight tournament this season. No women's lightweight. So no women's 155. Some of them will be cutting down to 145. So this will be our girl who's won previously a couple times, Kayla Harrison, cutting down to 145, which a lot of people want to see how these people are going to cut to 145, how they look now. But yeah, man, this joint headlined by last season's champion Brendan Loughnane fighting the former. Before this became the PFL, this was the WSOF. And when it was the WSOF, they had an undefeated fighter by the name of Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes went to the UFC. Marlon Moraes left the UFC going on a bad losing streak. And he's shown up back to the organization here in his former organization because it's still owned by the same guy that owns WSOF. Crazy, right? So he's in the main event here. You got a lot of other fights here. Thiago Santos, who formerly challenged John Jones for the light heavyweight titles in the co-main event. We got a lot of other guys here. A mix-up of really good talents. Impa Kazaganai, who was with the UFC, is coming back here as a light heavyweight. There's a lot of good names, man. I recommend you guys watch this. You got a ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus subscription. Do catch it on there, man. It's really good watching. So I'll be out there. We'll be watching that on Saturday. So it'll be the Joshua fight and PFL 1 on Saturday. Underlying thing, for people who don't know, because it won't pop up here unless you go look for it. Jorge Masvidal, Gamebred Boxing.
Masvidal.
Yes. The headliner.
From Gamebred.
The headliner.
Yes.
Anthony Pettis former WEC and UFC lightweight champion, is fighting the multi-time champion of 2 weight classes, the king himself, Roy Jones Jr.
What?
Oh no.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Come
On the undercard, we also have freaking Vitor Belfort fighting Jacare Souza. Two former MMA fighters. But here's the fight on the undercard that's going under that's really crazy. Former UFC longtime veteran, a man who was in the UFC for like over 15 years, Jeremy Stevens, Little Heathen Stevens, who fought in 2 weight classes, will be fighting the former WEC UFC featherweight king, Jose Aldo. For people who didn't see Jose Aldo box in Brazil, boy, you're going to be surprised at seeing what Jose Aldo going to do in his boxing fight on Saturday. Jose Aldo can box. It is weird, but he can box. And a lot of people think he's old, but he's only 30, 35, 36.
I don't like these freak shows.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Aldo and Stevens doing it. I'm not so
cool
amped up in Roy Jones versus Anthony Pettis, but we'll see how it plays out.
Because outside of the time when he fought Mike Tyson in the exhibition, everyone remembers Roy Jones getting clocked and falling out straight on his face, and people was like, yo, is he going to be all right?
Yeah, he kept going to sleep everywhere.
You know?
Gary Boxing MMA says Jose Aldo can box eggs, got thunderous body shots.
Yes, indeed. What's up, Gary boy? Yeah, man.
Good, Gary.
Yeah.
What's going on, Gary?
Roy Jones keeps going to sleep everywhere. Yeah. When he did his little tour, his final little tours to try to get that one W, yeah, he got slept everywhere. He even went to Russia because now he's a Russian citizen and got slept over there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Roy Jones Jr. is a Russian citizen. Yes, he is. He got slept. Yeah. Is it a Russian or German? I think, yeah, Russian citizen. Yeah. He got slept in Russia. Yeah.
I don't know.
Crazy. Crazy.
Is that a Triller card?
I think so. Yeah, it's on pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
But yeah, there'll be something there. That's why you see Colby Covington's possibly get a title shot against Leon Edwards.
Yes.
Because he didn't snitch. He let Jose he let Masvidal go free.
Yep.
So Masvidal can make this money. Yeah, next week he's gonna go fight in the UFC in Miami. He can have his events go on. Yeah. You gotta play chess with people playing checkers, man.
One last item, and then we'll go around the horn real quick. Tone, if I say RedBird Capital to you, ring a bell?
No.
RedBird Capital is the company that is in agreement to air Sunday Ticket in bars, restaurants, and hotels. That was the last piece of the NFL media rights deal. So starting in September 2023, Sunday Ticket has partnered with RedBird Capital to bring in Sunday Ticket to commercial properties, in addition to already being available in individual homes. The new company will be called Everpass Media, who struck a multi-year contract with NFL, meaning bars and other public venues will have access to Sunday out-of-market games this season. So whatever specific bar you might go to this upcoming season is going to be covered by RedBird Capital. What used to be DirecTV,
yes,
will be another company like that.
So let me ask you this: Would you bringing that up? And I apologize for cutting you off. It used to be.
Oh no, go ahead.
It used to be DirecTV.
Mhm. Yes.
DirecTV had a deal with AT&T. Will RedBird be working with AT&T?
Yes. So DirecTV had residential, but it also had commercial properties
Yes, they
for
did.
roughly 20, 30 years.
Yes.
They figured out that they were losing money, paying $1.5 billion a year towards the last 10 years, they started losing money. So the new package for Sunday Ticket is going to YouTube TV.
Oh, yeah, you did talk
for
about
residential. Yeah. But for commercial, that was the last piece. It was like, who is going to cover the commercial? Meaning bars and restaurants where you walk in and you go to Buffalo Wild Wings and you see the games all around.
Yes.
That's the
But
company.
they're also so I just lost it. It's all right. It's just
and I'm guessing at some
so
point
YouTube TV. If you have YouTube Premium, are you still in the game?
you're still in the game.
Okay, that's those will be the connections. Okay, so that's going to work. That's going to work.
So I'm just thinking at some point, I really don't know how this is going to work, because I was thinking at some point that DirecTV would sublet like a deal. You know, kind of like you know how we buy tickets. Let's say Taylor Swift or Beyonce or whomever comes out with a concert. And then there's that second selling market. That's what I thought DirecTV was going to jump in on and say, okay,
Who was that competition?
Right.
What was that other company? Because people who don't have cable have DirecTV and they had somebody else. I forgot who it was. But if DirecTV was losing out and then it signed on YouTube, that's going to be a big plus for them. That'll be more subscribers. The game right now is about viewers over profit and revenue.
Yes.
They all have to be sponsored by somebody. Even the major companies are going to have to be sponsored, because that's what we're hearing. Look at WWE. WWE was worth $1 billion every year, but he would lose that money. He had to find a way to go back and stay on top of it. So he started getting the major contracts. He started having people wanting to invest in buying him. Vince ain't dead yet. Vince is about to be rejuvenated, and all of these companies are following the same format.
Believe it or not, and Joe could tell us, Vince owns like 40%
of
the WWE.
WWE.
Yeah, he owns
40%.
Yeah, but Stephanie stepped away, so I think he's gonna get at least 50 back
if he wants it. But I think the way they're looking at it, they're ready to cut media deals. They're ready to cut actual deals.
They have to do a new generation of business. Yes,
that number is going to be something ridiculous, because, like I said, you factor in the library, you factor in 50 years of content,
at least. I'm gonna say 70 to 80.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 70 to 80. I think it started back in the 40s or 50s with his dad.
That's when it was like WWWF.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking about he counting the black and white catalog, and then you got to count.
I'm talking about WWF and then WWF. Yeah,
talking about taking all the WCW and WC,
AWA, all of them.
Yes.
Every last
WCCW content. You're talking about taking the ECW content. You're talking about
they're gonna have more letters than
you're talking all of that content.
Oh my God!
So these the red. You said Red Star what?
RedBird Capital.
RedBird Capital. If they take over DirecTV, they're going to run it.
They're just working on this deal with the NFL. They're only in there for that.
Right. A lot of these hotels are also running DirecTV, not just the bars. Some of the hotels are running it too in the rural areas. That's going to be huge.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hotels, bars, restaurants.
It's going to be huge.
Commercial properties.
Can you imagine,
Joe?
Yo.
I didn't. You were in the middle of a thought. I didn't want to kill your thought. You
No,
said
I'm
imagine.
good. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Joe, best place to find you?
Oh, catch me on Twitter, man. I'm on Twitter. New Year, same B. Catch my tweets, my retweets. Throw some random information out there into the atmosphere. Just catch it. Fridays, I'm with my boy Mike. You know, Mike Copenhaver on Cope's Corner. Cope with a K,
Yes, sir.
Corner with a K. Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Catch me on the weekends. Okay, on the app called OK Live. The app where not many people speak English, but I'm one of the few. Let's go. Where we stream fights. Whenever there's fights on the weekend or during the week, I'm there. I will be there Friday, tomorrow. I will be there Saturday. If there's something I missed, then you'll catch me Sunday or during the week. But I'll catch up on all those things. That is that. Yes, sir.
Tone,
Yo.
Tony D. Original.
Yes, sir.
Where can we find you?
You can find me. Linktree, Tony D. Original. I'm going to just stop right there. You said 60 minutes. We had 9 minutes. I wouldn't do you like that. I wouldn't do you like that.
But if the link tree is out of order, how do we?
Oh man, you can find me on Twitter, TONYTON72. You can find me on Instagram, TONYTON72. You can find me on Twitter, TONYTON163. You can find me on TikTok, TONYTON19723. Spoiler alert: TikTok is in trouble. I did not think TikTok was going to go through what they were going through until I saw an email today, specifically myself. They are in trouble. I have nothing to do with TikTok. I love how you connect with everybody, TikTok. I love the stuff that I've seen on their TikTok. I'm still getting a kick right now off of that retirement homes page with these old folks doing rap songs. I'm not going to lie. Y'all are killing me up in there. I'm having a ball, but you all are in trouble. I want to cover that next time. We got to dig deep into that. No disrespect.
We'll cover that next time. We'll cover that.
And Congress, that CEO of TikTok, you stood your ground against Congress. You made excellent points. I got nothing against you, but I think you all are in trouble. Appreciate you, Ted. Everybody up in there. Yo, Gary, that was the small rundown. You didn't see the old ways I used to do it, but I appreciate you, cuz.
Joe, thank you for the assist.
No problem.
I can't thank you enough.
I know you wanted to do it. I know you wanted to do it.
I feel like LeBron going against the NBA with these two. Christopher Michael, what's good, bro? What's happening?
Yo.
Christopher Michael, Haps fam in the house.
Chris Michael, how you doing? We'll talk about TikTok and we'll talk about ChatGPT. Yeah, we'll talk about a couple of those things, along with Wrestlemania wrap up, Anthony Joshua finally retiring. Joe gives some of the highlights on that. Talk about Tank Davis knocking Ryan Garcia out.
Talk about
we'll also talk UFC, latest UFC card, and a whole bunch of other topics for the week. We're out. Thank you.
Peace.
All right, y'all.